All right, it's exactly 5 p.m. Eastern, and we're ready to start Get Hot Paying Clients. Today is day 8, and I'm actually going to teach you how to close the sale on the phone based on my philosophy of sell without selling. So if you don't like sales, this is the place to be. We'll get rolling in just a moment. Come on in. Get ready. All right. We should be starting in just a moment. Come on in. I think I have better Wi-Fi today than yesterday, which will be a blessing. I know that was an issue yesterday.
So we are live on Facebook, live on YouTube, live on the website. Wherever you've seen us, make sure you come to the website because that's where you can join Terry and interact with her. That's where you will find the worksheets. That's where you will interact with everyone here. And that's how you can actually come into the Hangout and get the most value out of it. So we have a few people who are going to meet you in person in May. That's exciting.
It'll be fun.
A lot of fun. And then we were also talking about how there was a comment today by, I'm going to mess up her name. Terry, you probably know it better than me.
I don't want to say it wrong either. Is it?
We're both going like,
it starts with G drag.
Dragana says, she says that, thank you for this valuable program. She was commenting on day 1. And she said, I've been studying day 1 again. There are important aspects to consider. I really appreciate that. And so Terry and I got to talk in the green room before the Hangout about really how much time it takes, to complete something, because you have this learning curve. And in previous programs that I took, it was an 8-week program, and I got stuck on one thing, and it took me 6 weeks to actually get to get that one thing solved. And then I missed the rest of everything that was taught there because time ran out and I was stuck on this one thing. And before I could get it done, I couldn't progress to the other things. So the 12 weeks that you are getting an additional, you're getting 6 weeks an additional time, that is super valuable. What experience do you have, Terry, with, people kind of like, well, let's do this. And then week 6, they're still on step 1.
That's an interesting question. I've had a similar experience. I have people that are in the 6-week program and whatever, maybe week 2, God forbid, that somebody gets sick, or they have a family emergency, or they get stuck in week 2, and then it's the end of 6 weeks, and they no longer have me there to help them. So this is why I was pretty excited about doubling the time and making it 12 weeks. I think that extra time is really valuable. And, even if you're in somebody else's program, listen, I have 9 mentors that I'm investing in right now, right in this moment. 9, not 1, 9, because I'm studying different things with different people. If you're in somebody else's program, it doesn't really matter. You don't have to start the program on Monday. The program starts on Monday, but if you can't start for another week, 2 weeks, even up to a month, that's okay. Just get in now at double the weeks. You're getting in now for 12 weeks. If you say, well, I can't start the program to March or April, so I'll just join then. When you join then, you're only getting 6 weeks. So I wouldn't do that. I would join now and then just tell me what date you want to start the program, and then we'll start your 12 weeks from there. I don't want you to get stuck. I'm doubling the weeks, so I'm really here to help you. And I don't want you to be stuck going, well, I'm in some other program or, working with somebody else or whatever. Just go ahead and do it now, and we'll start you when it's the right time for you. But it's ridiculous not to get 12 weeks when you can get 12 weeks and you never give 12 weeks.
And the other thing is that, as you can see here with the training, how much value there is in different opinions. Like, we have so many people coming in and questions that we didn't even think about that would come up, and they're coming up, and then someone goes like, oh, that was a great question. So how much value would you get from having a circle of mentors around you that can, you can bounce ideas off? Maybe this mentor is like an expert in Facebook Live. Maybe this mentor is an expert in copywriting. Maybe this mentor is expert in, I don't know, graphics, but whatever, you're getting, like, you can get value from all of them. So so with that, how do we close?
All right, so I want to get you set up today because I love teaching this part, but here's one of the really cool things. In my program, I actually give you the exact scripts, the scripts that are already proven to work, because where people get stuck is trying to formulate what do I say and trying to learn what to say. One of my clients that took my script, used the script just the way I taught it to her, she was able to close 62% into her parenting course. And her parenting course is for moms, and it's learning how to overcome stress and have more balance in their lives. So she's now charging $2,500 a person for her program at a close rate of 62%. When she first launched her program, she launched it as a pilot program and reduce the cost to $1,500. And that's fine. No problem with that. I talk about pilot programs in my course. But in any case, she went out and she's closing 62%. So prior to getting my scripts and learning some of the info I'm going to teach you today, she was selling 4 full hours, 4 hours of her time for only $100. Okay. Think of the difference. Now she piloted at $1,500, and now today she's selling her course for $2,500 with a 62% close rate. Her income is up, up, up. And if she didn't know how to close, she'd never make those numbers. So let's get into closing. Now, the way I close, even though I give you a script, mostly what I teach you in the script is actually listening. The way I close is really not through the script itself, it's through listening. And there's 3 things that you must do to close someone on a phone call. And we dive really, really deep into that in the course. There's the worksheet, but there's 3 things that will help you close the call so you can get a close rate of like 62% like she has. Ready? The first one is I want you to go get duct tape. And I'm really not kidding. Go out to the store today, get a roll of duct tape. Keep that as your reminder. The second thing is I want you to put that tape on your mouth. Okay, figuratively, not literally. But in all seriousness, I tell my clients, get duct tape and put it by your phone to remind you that it is not about you speaking. And right before you do a call, feel like you're putting the duct tape on your mouth. Oh, I love those images. Oh, especially Simon Cowell. That's hilarious.
This was hidden from everybody. I was trying to put that in the comments, but like, you're looking at what I'm doing. So yeah, do this one. Shut up the Simon in you.
That one. And the reason that I'm telling you to get the duct tape and, imagine the tape on your mouth is because the third thing that you must do to close people and get a rate like 62% or better, some of my clients do better, is you want to listen underneath people's words for 2 things: their fears and their desires. Their fears and the desires. You have to listen underneath their words for fears and desires. So just because somebody says, oh, I can't do this now, or I can't afford this now, or this isn't a good time, or, I'm in somebody else's program, or I have another mentor, I wish I met you sooner. The 50 million excuses. I don't have enough money. Tough funds are tight this month. They'll be better next month. What is that really all about? What's their fear? And what is it they really desire? Because let's face it, if you really, really desire an outcome and you don't take action that moves you towards the outcome, do you really have that desire? Or what's that big fear that client is being held with? So I've been teaching and using a 5-question framework for probably close to 20 years now. And this framework is ridiculously effective and super simple. The first thing that you say in the 5-question framework when you get someone on the phone is, what's working? Or what's going well, or what's going right in your business? So what is working? So, hey, nice to speak to you, John. It's wonderful to have you. I'm going to spend 10 minutes. We're going to talk a little bit about your business. Tell me what's working in your business, or if you're helping them with their life, or you're helping them lose weight, or whatever it is that you do. The second question is, what makes it work? So what's working, and now what makes it work? And I want to explain why you ask the second question. I'm going to teach just a little quantum physics. Don't get scared away. the law of attraction says that if you spend 17 seconds or more in the same energetic field, like attracts like a magnet. So if I say to you, what's working? And you say, oh, what's working is I'm taking this really good course and I'm learning all this good stuff. And okay, that's it. You haven't spent 17 seconds there. So energetically, you're not bringing in a lot more of that experience. So you notice I don't say, what's your biggest problem? What's wrong? I'm asking what's working. So now when I say to you, what makes it work? We'll spend 17 seconds there. Energetically, that gets the person you're talking to in a better frame of mind than so focused and frustrated on their stress and problems. So what is working? What makes it work? Well, what makes it work is I'm really getting better at using Facebook Live. I've started a very effective group and I'm learning how to use groups and I'm getting engagement and I'm getting comments and I'm starting to message people and I'm starting to schedule 17 seconds. Question number 3. Now you ask, what's the ideal vision? So explain it to me. And I always say in
Erin? Sorry, I wanted to say something about that stuff. How important it is. It's kind of like celebrating the wins, right? And I have private clients that I meet once a week, and we always start a conversation with like, okay, tell me about your wins this week, right? And it's really cool because they make lists before the call. And so it's already kind of like, wow, I've done this, I've achieved this, even though I'm stuck, look at all the stuff that I did. And you're right, there's such different energy that comes in with like, wow, look at all the stuff that I've accomplished. Now let's accomplish some more. Exactly the same way that you guys should feel right now, because look at all you accomplished in the last 7 days alone. So it's really wonderful.
And I'm glad you brought that up because what clients want to do, in my experience, typically is they want to tell you all their problems. They want to tell you, right, what's broken, what's wrong. So you bring them right into the, well, what is going right? What makes it work? And the third question is, what's the ideal vision? And I like to ask it this way. I want you to give me a movie, like in, Dolby, surround, Technicolor vision, all that stuff. What's ideal? And don't just tell me what I'd like to have more clients, or I'd like to make more money, or I'd like to lose weight, or I'd like to be stronger. Give me it in great detail. If I ask this very often, if I had a magic wand, tell me everything that you would want in your life or in your business. Get really detailed. Don't just say, I want to go on vacation. Where do you want to go? When do you want to go? How many days do you want to go for? Who do you want to take with you? So get into the ideal vision. And again, by the way, we're keeping them in that same energy of now seeing what it is they really want. So taking them out of pain and frustration. Now, by the way, this is the opposite of what a lot of false experts, you've heard me say that, teach you, right? They teach you agitate and stir pain. Oh my gosh, I would never do that to anyone. And how authentic is that? I don't want anyone to feel pain ever. Why would I ask someone to feel pain? I want to know, well, what's going right? What makes that right? What's really ideal? So now I hear, well, I'm here. And oh my gosh, if I could get here, that would be amazing. Now we get to the question that they've been waiting to tell you. The languaging of this question has to be exact. This is a science. Question 4 is, what's not quite right yet? I'm going to repeat that. What's not quite right yet? Now notice that this question allows possibility. It doesn't say, tell me everything that's wrong. Tell me what's broken. Tell me your problems. Okay, you got some stuff. It's not quite right yet, meaning it can be more right. It's a very, very powerful coaching question and a very important question in your ability to close 60, 70. Some of my clients close over 80% of the people they speak with. Question number 5. What tools or resources do you need? And this is where you listen to see what kind of help they need and if you could help them. So for example, if I am chatting with someone and I say, what tools or resources do you need? If they tell me, well, I need some help figuring out my signature program. I need some help getting many more eyeballs to my webinar. I need some help converting the sale. I need someone to look over my webinar and see if it's any good. I think it is, but I don't know that it is. Or, so now I know I can help them. Or they tell me something like, yeah, I need someone to do search engine optimization and to do WordPress plugins. I know none of that's me. So maybe I can refer them to another resource or give them a tool. Now I listen. What tools or resources do you need? So I'm going to repeat the 5 questions, Yvette, because they're really important. What's working? What makes it work? What's the ideal vision? What's not quite right yet? And what tools or resources do you need?
That's awesome. And you know, one of the things that is coming up, there we go. Um, Amy's saying, Amy's saying sometimes it is really about the money. It depends how transparent they really are. And you know, I used to think that same way, and I just left a comment below, but I just want to share this. I never ever thought, because I learned all my stuff, I learned on my own, online, you know, and I have friends that I bounce things off. I never thought I'm going to pay anyone $10,000 to help me with anything. But then I watched the webinar, I got on a call, and they were so good at like focusing on the pain and what was the cost. Like, okay, so you've tried this on your own for like 3 years now, and it's not working. You haven't figured it out. What will happen if you continue not to figure it out? How are you going to make any money? What are you going to do? What's going to happen to your kid? Blah, blah. They got very emotional. They got really, really good at, what do you call that? Discovering the pain.
Uncovering pain.
Uncovering the pain, right? And the cost of the pain, right? And they helped me see like a breakthrough. And I was like, okay, now that I see how big and monstrous this is, and if I trust that you can solve it, then I'm like, okay, I can't afford not to do that. And I did not have $10,000 at the time. But someone told me, you know, if you wake up in the morning and you find a Lamborghini in your parking lot and someone comes in and says, hey, this is only $2,000 and you don't have $2,000, you're going to go and find the $2,000 so you can get a Lamborghini, right? So it's really the value that you put on things, right? Like, how big is your pain? How soon do you want to solve it? And, you know, and if you trust that the solution is there, then money is really not an issue. And I can even talk about like you, Terry, right? Like if there's any solution to the pain that you're suffering right now, it doesn't really matter how much it's going to cost, right?
Correct. Let me speak to a couple of things. So I have an expression, and this is why I believe I've been very successful in the 8 different businesses that I've owned over the last 40 years. My expression is find a way or make a way. I'm in no excuse zone and I live with no excuses. Listen, I grew up very, very poor. When my husband and I got married, we were very poor. We had no furniture, none. We couldn't afford any. And I had a car that broke down as I drove on major highways over and over again. And it was very scary because it would just shut off. And I never knew when it was going to do that. And there was somebody that I wanted to invest in way back when. And the gentleman's name was Zig Ziglar. And I had no money. No money. I don't know if you know what it's like to have no money, but I had no money. And I said at the time, if I didn't get trained by Zig Ziglar, I just knew that my attitude wasn't right and he was the one to help me. And so I believe in find a way and make a way. What do? You go to family, you go to friends, you go to somebody you love and say, I've got to do this. It's life-changing. I need your help. I'll pay you back. And I did that. And I went to people who loved me and who trusted me and said, Terry, if you really need this, I will help you. I not only was able to pay them back, I was able to do way more than that over the course of time, as I was able to make a lot of money because my thinking got right, because I invested in Zig Ziglar a bazillion years ago. I'm going to tell you something else. There's always financing. There's always friends. There's always people you can ask for help. So I never, ever believe that it's money. I believe that that's a lovely excuse, and anybody can use that as an excuse, but there's a lot of BS underneath that. Now, let me go further on this and why I believe it so strongly. My husband and I owned an art business many years ago. And there was a painting that this couple said they really wanted, and they couldn't afford it. If at the time with a frame, I think it was $125. And they left the art show on a Saturday night, and she was crying. She wanted this painting so badly. And the paintings were all original, so if she didn't buy it that night, it went back to the gallery and she'd never get the painting again. Well, the next day happened to be Super Bowl Sunday. And my husband and I were in the electronics store in a little small town that we lived in because we needed a new washer. And the same couple that was at our art show the night before, they were in the same electronics store. And they were buying, and color TVs were like a fortune back in the early 80s. They were buying the biggest color TV they had in the electronics store. Now, we had a black and white TV about this big with, some of you may not know this, but rabbit ears and aluminum foil. So they couldn't afford a $125 painting, but they just went and got the top of the line television. You get what it is you choose. You spend money on what it is you choose. I have a very painful disease called reflex sympathetic dystrophy. And the treatments for this disease, if you said to me they're $1 million and it could help me, I would do whatever I had to do. I would work 20 jobs. I'd work 100 hours. I'd go to family, I'd friends. I would fundraise. I would borrow. I would start a GoFundMe. I would do anything I could if I were fortunate enough to have an answer to my problem. So Amy and everybody else, I never, ever believe or listen to, I can't afford it. You have money and you can choose what to do with it. I have a client right now who sold tons of her possessions in her home on eBay to afford my program because she knew if she kept doing what she was doing, she was never going to have her business. She was going to have to go get a job, and she was never going to create the kind of life she wanted for her kids, for herself, and ever going to make the money she wanted. She sold things on eBay, and I mean important things, really important things. And she even sold her car and bought a clunker. Okay. Money is a choice. We all have choices. And I just wanted to make that point before we go on.
Yeah, it's important not just for you to decide whether or not you're going to invest in yourself, but this is also when you're closing and you have someone on the call and money is an excuse. That means you haven't uncovered the pain. You didn't give enough value. They don't trust that this is the solution for them. So this is kind of like a two-way street, right? Like how you feel right now, or whenever you feel about buying something, or, when money comes up, this is exactly what goes in your client's head. So if you can solve it for yourself, you also know how to solve it for your client. And I know you want to say something about that, Terry, but guys, refresh the page. The link to join the Hangout will become active. Remember to mute yourselves. And we can get to, if you want to practice closing, or if you have specific questions about the close, this is the time. So refresh the page, jump on in. I want to see if Batista is going to be the first one. So let's talk about the mindset, right? Where you come into a closing call. And one of the things that I've heard is to write down on a paper, like how much you want to make and them saying yes, and kind of like prepare before the call. So do you prepare before you have calls?
Great question. I prepare by showing up with authenticity, transparency, and integrity, and by saying, I'm going to be the best listener I can be. I am here to help. I'm going to bring my heart and soul and be the best listener I can be. And if I can help this person, I'm going to let them know. And I'm not going to accept excuses because it's not fair to them. At the same time, I say to myself, if I can't help this person, it is up to me to be in integrity, transparency, and honesty, and send them somewhere else or let them know that I can help them. And one other thing, I'm going to give. And I know sometimes people say to me, oh, I'm so concerned. What if I give too much? Then there'd be no reason to hire me. I totally disagree. I think I'm giving quite a bit here. We're day 8. We have 2 more days. I'm giving. Well, even though I'm giving, and even though I'm giving on calls, and you'll be giving on calls, people still need some hand-holding, some nurturing, to be taken under your wing. They're going to have questions. So don't be afraid to give. In fact, I personally believe that the more you give and you come from a place of helping, the better that people will perceive you. I'm going to share a true experience. I got on a call with somebody who I thought I was going to hire. He was $25,000 or $30,000. I think he was 30. And I was actually thinking of hiring him. This was last summer. I got on the call with him and he didn't give me anything. I got zero value. He didn't show me that he could give me anything. And so afterwards I said, this is not the right person. So please don't be afraid to give. So sorry, I wanted to make that point real quick.
It's very important. I can't remember who said that like even if you give away 90% of all your stuff, they're still going to want to buy from you. So
Yep.
and I think this is one of the biggest challenges is that, you know, people, there's no experience, there's no giving, there's no experience with a person like face to face. Can they really help me? We don't know. um, David Yorka is asking, um, have you ever experienced working with theater or performing art business?
I have, and one of the backgrounds that I actually have, I've owned a lot of different kind of businesses. I was actually in, I guess I'll say it bluntly, I was an actress many years ago. Appeared in several television commercials and regional theater.
What haven't you done, Terry?
I think I lived a lot of lives, but I even did some theater with Jane Fonda, which was pretty cool. But in any case, yes. And I have had clients from all walks of life and all kinds of over 247 different backgrounds and industries, and theater is one of them.
That's cool. So, David, your answer is yes. She has an experience. So, jump on in and get on 12 weeks with Terry. And finally, we get to see Tim. Look at that. Are you feeling better? Just unmute. You feeling
yeah,
better?
no, I'm getting better. So
good to see you. How do you feel?
We're good. You know, the meds finally kicked in, so today was a good day. Yesterday was in a bit of a fog all day, but
I'm glad to have
we're
you.
good.
Good. What can I help you with today in terms of closing? What's up for you?
So I love this, and I think unwittingly when I close deals, I'm really focused on the positive. So this helps solidify that. But when they come back with that, well, I don't have the money, and so there's kind of, I guess my question is, do you go right at them and be like, well, really? Like, what are you choosing to do with your money?
Love that you're asking that. So I typically say this. I understand that you're not making a choice to invest the money, and I understand that you might not feel that you have the money right now. I also understand that there's a philosophy that I happen to have, and you may not, which is find a way or make a way. And it's actually why I've been incredibly successful in business and life. So it's up to you. If you really want to do this, you can find a way. PayPal has financing. I can give you 4 other financing companies. You can do a GoFundMe. You can go ask friends or family for a loan that you can pay back in a few weeks. So it's up to you. Do you want to be where you are in the next year when, if I call you to check in on you, you're going to be in exactly the same spot? Or are you going to step up to the plate? And especially if you're a business owner. If business owners don't invest in their business, they need to get a JOB. You shouldn't own a business if you're not willing to invest. So that's pretty much, I said to you exactly what I would say. And then I say, it's your decision, your choice. I'm not here to force you. If it's right, do it. If it's not, and you don't choose to spend the money with me, I wish you the best of luck, and I will not follow up with you.
So what about payment plans? I mean, do you entertain that? I mean, is that acceptable to be like, yeah?
Yeah, I'm good with payment plans. I understand if someone really, really wants to do something and might need to break it up, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with people using PayPal financing. PayPal lets them do 0% down, 0% financing for 6 full months. So they can go ahead and get their first couple of clients. And before the end of 6 months, they can pay PayPal without any finance charges. I'm fine with that.
Okay. I mean, that was it. So I like that. And what I like about that, it keeps you in integrity too. So
exactly. It was really, really important to me.
Good.
All right.
And you said one last quick question. The program starts on Monday?
Yes, it does. And I was saying earlier, if somebody really wants in and can't start on Monday or can't physically afford it for Monday, whatever it might be, you still have to get in now, or later you'll only get 6 weeks. So yes, you start on Monday, Tim.
And what time is that at?
It's 3 Eastern, and you'll be getting all the information from James.
Good. Well, I'm just going to go plug that into the calendar now. So
starting your count of 3 to 4:30 Eastern on Monday.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll see you there.
See you. Bye.
Bye.
So awesome seeing you finally. I'm so happy you're feeling better. Elaine says most people usually are willing to finance if you ask them.
Many people will, yes.
Okay. And Michelle is asking, do you have a pre-qualifying process or questionnaire to filter those you actually speak to?
Great question. I used to do that. I used to use a questionnaire, and I don't use a questionnaire anymore. It's very simple. We do a 10-minute pre-qualification phone call. And the phone call goes like this. Tell us what your biggest issue or frustration is in business and your biggest goal. And if we listen and think that's something we can help with, we set up a phone call with you, a longer call. If it's something we can't help with, we say, you know what, we're not going to set up a longer call because that's not what we do. We can't help you. So we just do that very quickly. I do have what's called a rapid ROI assessment that I also give as a part of the program. That is the questionnaire. If you choose to put it on your site, you can just copy my questionnaire and use it if you choose to use it. We just don't use it at this point.
Awesome answers. And then Rob, you commented, but you're here, so ask away. Oh, we can hear you. Yeah, okay. There you go.
Can you hear me now? All right. Hi. Yeah, I was wondering, as you're asking your questions, some people sometimes give a very short response. To follow that, then, could you ask the question or just to make the statement, could you tell me more?
That's always a great coaching. Can you tell me more? Can you say more? So I'll say what's working, and they'll say blah, blah, blah. And I'll say more. What else is happening in your business, in your life, in your relationships, in your health, wellness? Keep going. So yes, tell me more. Keep going. What makes it work? Well, you know, blah, blah. Okay, that's great. Keep going. What's deeper? Tell me more. What's your ideal vision? Well, my ideal vision is, you know, I can take my family on vacation and send my son to private school. What kind of private school? Where do you want to go on vacation? So I'll ask a lot of specific questions and also do tell me more. You got it.
Good. Thanks.
Well done. I like the orange, by the way. It looks good on you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll see you for the call.
And our next person is Eileen. Hey, Eileen.
Eileen off of mute.
I think Eileen keeps taking notes, and then we come to her, and she goes like, "Oh, they're talking to me."
You're muted.
Yes.
There you are.
I was.
No worries.
That's exactly what I was doing. I was going to type in the question, and then you came to me.
That's fine. Go ahead. What's your question?
I didn't get the third one was on closing the call. I know the first all the time is listen.
Okay, so just to go back up there, you want to make sure that you buy duct tape and then you put the duct tape over your mouth. And I really mean that, you know, figuratively. I would love you to get duct tape for all of you, just to have it as a symbol to remind you it is not about you speaking. It is about you deeply tuning in, listening with your heart and soul in integrity. And then literally before just saying, okay, I got the duct tape on, now I tune in and I listen.
Okay, thanks. I think you're still part of the listening. So it's like, okay, I know to listen, but what else am I missing?
Yeah, so that's just the duct tape piece.
Thanks, Terry.
All right. Take care. See you soon.
So there's an interesting comment from Kim. She says, I totally agree that people will find money to get what they want. I come prepared with a plan B if the money is an issue. I'm not comfortable haggling with someone who has money issue. I want committed people who can afford the investment flat out. And so I asked, what's your plan B? And her plan B is a scholarship option. If their commitment is clear, they have a lot of work already done, and they are able to participate and share a testimonial at the conclusion. What do you think about that?
I am so glad you brought that up, Kim. So I want to speak to that. I don't haggle at all, just so you know. It's just, hey, if you want to do it, find a way, make a way. There's some ways to do it. If it's a yes, great. If it's a no, good luck to you. And I really do mean that when I say good luck to you, because I do know that people can't do most of this on their own. So I do wish them luck, and I don't follow up. So we're done. I don't believe in scholarships because if someone is not willing to come up with the money under at least payment plans, they're not all in. And if you want committed people, giving them a scholarship is taking someone who's not very committed. And how do you choose who gets a scholarship? Who really has financial need? Are you looking at people's finances? People can make up stuff and tell you they have trouble, and they can go be buying that, you know, big HD TV. So I don't do scholarships. I tell my clients not to do scholarships. I don't recommend scholarships. I would do what my client did that I talked about earlier. She did a pilot program. She said, in my pilot program, instead of $2,500, it's $1,500. And the reason she reduced it is I want your case studies. I want your testimonials. And I'm going to give you my all to make sure that I get them. I'm fine with that. I'm not fine with scholarshiping. And truly, I am like no haggle zone. Let me say this. And I don't mean this in a braggadocious, egotistical way. I'm just going to say what's coming up for me. If someone buys a program of mine, you buy my program, it is not going to change my life or my lifestyle. $2,500 is not going to change my life or my lifestyle. It's going to change yours. It's going to change the prospect I'm speaking with on the phone, and I know that. Hands down, I know that. I'm good at what I do. You're good at what you do. You know you're going to make a difference for someone. So the situation that I have is I want to help people, and I want to make a difference for them. And I want people who are committed to that difference. If they're not, and they're not willing to find a way or make a way to invest, I let them go. I wish them the best of luck. And I know that I'm not the right mentor for them, that they're not ready to really be successful, that they're still wanting to stay where they're at, whether they're admitting it consciously or not. And that's okay. I send them light and love.
It's so important, though, you know, like one of Warren Buffett's main habits of success is knowing what to say no to. And he says, I say no to almost everything. And I think that's part of, you know, learning, like, in your mentality to be like, okay, you're not the right client. Whatever excuse, whatever challenge you have right now, this is not the right time for you, right? And if they come back, they come back. And if not, not. But right now, this is not working. And it's also having the mindset that knowing, like, okay, you said no to this, but you're opening yourself up to other things. It's also very interesting, right? The level of commitment. When I paid $10,000, you bet your butt I was on that thing every day, getting it done, you know, like that's all I was doing. And when I pay something like, you know, $27, I'll get to it sometime, right?
So I'd like to make one point about that. I have a client right now who we took her program, I think it was 2 years ago. We started $1,500. Then we went to $3,000 because she added even more resources. Now it's at $5,000. And what she told me the other day, last Monday, she said, I have the most committed people I've ever had. They all show up. They all do the work. They're all making fast progress. And I said, that's because you're now at $5,000. There's a world of difference between someone with a $500 commitment and a $5,000. So what you said is totally true.
Yeah, and it's sad that we have to be like that, but we put money, we put more value on money than on our time. Isn't that weird? And money you can make all the time, and time is the scarce resource that you have.
Correct.
So let's talk to Joe. Joe, you're new with us. Hey, Joe. Nice to see you.
Hi, Joe. You're muted. We got to unmute.
There you go. Fix that camera so we can see you.
Can we unmute you, Joe?
The other way.
And then you have to just unmute yourself. You're still
there.
muted.
You go. Yay. Look at that beautiful painting.
Great. Can you unmute the microphone? Your microphone is muted.
Okay, it's unmuted now. There we go.
Yeah, there you go. Hi, Joe. Good to see you. Love your background. Hey. That's awesome.
Yeah. I've been on these calls. I really loved them. Really, really great. You're doing a great service.
I'm happy to share. What can I help you with?
And so I'm just wondering. So I'm starting in coaching. Okay. I met you a long time ago with Ken MacArthur.
I know who you are.
Yeah, I'm actually from Philly, so maybe I'll take you out to lunch sometime.
Awesome.
So, but anyways, I'm new to coaching, and I'm just like I'm a little nervous about my offer, and should I offer 6 months or a year of coaching, because I don't have a program, so to speak.
Okay.
All I have is my services at this point.
Okay. So I'm going to go back and say some things really important to you. So especially because it's coaching. I own a coach training school. I've trained over 5,000 coaches all around the world. So coaching is something I do know a lot about.
Yes.
The average coach, sadly, according to the Sherpa study, makes less than $37 per hour. And I don't know about you, but that's not going to make it, right? $37 per hour is what the average full-time coach makes. Let me tell you what to do. I want you to actually create a program. I want you to go back with me to day one. I want you to create a program, one focus, one goal, one result, one outcome that you can deliver for people. And I want you to make the program no longer than 8 weeks. So 4, 6, 8, if you choose.
Okay.
Go, here's what people are struggling with. Here's the one result that they want. I know I can give that to them. Let me create a program. Oh, it's going to take me 5 weeks to deliver it.
Okay.
And then price that program right out of the gate, brand new coach, $1,500 for a 5 or 6 week outcome.
Okay.
And you will find that people will pay for that deliverable, and you will already set yourself miles apart of all the other Me Too coaches out there.
Gotcha. One result, right. 8 weeks, 1,500.
You got it.
Okay. And then, okay. Great. Thank you very much.
All right. And I want to see you do it. You're welcome.
Okay. I will.
Good. And just for everybody, just as a reminder, anybody who does jump in the program, you do get the 12 weeks versus the 6. And you're also going to get into the National Facebook Lovers group, where we help you drive the leads and the traffic so that you'll get a lot of people watching your webinar. So cool. Good to have you today, Joe.
Thanks, sir.
You're welcome.
So Joe, are you a part of the program already?
I am not, no.
Okay, I'm not going to put you on the spot, but you should be. Or you're muted for some reason. You're muted. Unmute.
Can you unmute?
Yeah, I'm unmuted now. Yeah, I would love to be. The timing's just not right. Like, I wish I could be.
All right.
I love you. You're awesome.
Thank you. You're awesome too. So I'll just say what I said earlier in this. You can find a way or make a way. And if you can, I'd love to have you.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thanks.
See you soon.
Okay. There is a comment from Robin, who's just joined us, and she says, good point about the cost. Robin, I'm going to let you tell that, so I'm going to read Rachel. And Rachel, come on, time to see you, lady.
Where's Rachel?
The number one player, by the way. You are definitely getting, we're going to talk about what she's getting in a second, you and 4 other people. She says, I have worked with women in the past who swear that they don't have and cannot get the money. I've never wanted to press them because, like Terry, I have been there before. A handful of times, those women have invested in me, but their stress level was off the chart. The fear can take over, and I could tell that their inner mindset tanked. I suppose I did not give them a result fast enough. A few requested refunds. I have only been given money back before 14 days are up. Any thoughts?
Lots of thoughts. They're not your right target audience. You're not speaking to the right target audience. You need to find the right target audience who wants that one outcome and is so hungry for it that they find the money, and then they don't find the money and go, oh my gosh, I'm so stressed over finding the money. They find the money and they say, I am so glad I found the money. Now I got to really pay attention and focus and work so I can get the result. And they work with you really hard, Rachel, to get the result. And on the opposite end, you've got to make sure you're delivering the outcome and the result, and you're getting it to them. You know, the sweet spot is under 8 weeks, and that you're really able to deliver it and really able to do it. So I don't believe you've got the market to message match. And I don't believe, my gut is, that your program is high priced enough to attract the right people. I'm going to say this for all of you. When you're charging too little, you struggle to get clients. When you charge a lot of money, you don't struggle at all. I'm going to give you a true story. When I was selling a program many years ago for, I think it was around $1,200, it was like we talked to tons of people and we get a few people in. It was a freaking great program. I had case studies and testimonies, but it was like so difficult to sell. And I remember a very good friend of mine looked at the course and said, Terry, that's a $12,000 program. And I went, yeah, right. And he said, no, I'm going to
We are going to get to Terry again. That was such a great story. If you've already asked a question and you don't have another question, can you please drop off? That will help with the bandwidth, and hopefully Terry will not be freezing as we are doing that. And then Terry, are you back? No, not yet. So Eileen, if you can drop, and Joey, you can drop unless you have other questions. And while we're waiting for Terry to come back, let me tell you about the bonus that we are giving away. So if you haven't seen this yet, I'm sure you have. Let's look at who our winners are. So right here in the win page, Robin, I'm sure you logged in when you're playing the game, right? Okay. So just making sure. So the way that you know that you're logged in is that you see your username right here. And when you see that and you share this link in any of those social events, then you're going to get the points. So right here on the bottom, we can see our top players who are on the run for winning this awesome program. And it's Rachel, number 1. Eileen, number 2. Robin, right here. Robin, you need to tell me how many points you're missing. Amy is here. And Kim is here. And you can see, guys, it's very, very easy to jump up to the main, to the next stage, because really they Dinus only missing like 200 points. So playing is really awesome, very easy. Terry, I know you were in the middle of the story, but can you tell them a second what are they playing for, and then we can finish the story.
Yeah, you're going to get the ultimate business growth system. This is normally, it sells, depending on if you meet me at an event or not an event, it can be $25,000. The least I've ever offered it for is $12,500. It is 1 full year of my library. And my library, by the way, includes all the templates, all the emails, all the exact things that you need. And in addition, every single week for 52 weeks, you're going to get a coaching call with one of my experts on how to use the library. It's huge, and it's a big gift, and I'm excited to see who's going to win it.
Yeah, we have like the top 5 so far, but we have 3 more days to play. So let's see who gets to the number 1. What you were talking about the
let me tell that story.
Yes.
So this friend of mine said, you're not charging enough, whatever I was charging, $1,250. He said, I'm going to write you a check right now. The value of it is $12,500. And I was like, what? And he wrote me a check and he handed it to me, $12,500. And I thought, you must be kidding. And he said, no, you're giving me results that have helped me make 50, 60, 70, 80 grand. You're not charging enough. And as soon as I got that concept, 2 months later, I was a little slow. I started selling it at that price. I sold it from a stage at an event, and I sold 86 of them. Do the math. Okay? And all of those people were happy to pay it. Do you know if I was selling it for $1,200, I don't think I would have sold even 8.
Wow. So that's your $1 million day, right?
It really was my $1 million day. I talk about it all the time. A 90-minute talk, $1 million in sales.
And what's amazing about that is the value, right? And the positioning. We also have a hangout about positioning. So the value, the positioning, and the right price for the right people.
Yes.
And you got someone who done it, going to do that. So if you want to learn how to make $1 million in 90 minutes, she can tell you. Robin, so wait, Rachel, are you here? Did you hear the answer that Terry gave you for the question?
I did not hear it because trying to get on the Hangout actually made me lose her voice, but I'll go back on the replay to listen to it.
All right. So if you have questions afterwards, let us know. I want to make sure you hear it. It's important, really important.
I will. Thanks.
You're welcome, Rachel.
And Robin.
Here she is. Hey, Robin, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing? I'm really excited about next week.
I'm excited too. I can't wait till Monday till we get rocking.
Yeah, I mean that's I think that's what Yvette wanted me to mention what I'd written down. This is really resonating with me because I mean I never thought. I mean I speak for free or $300 with other companies. And I was thinking, you know, just kind of, you know, few $100s here, a few $100s there. And you've really kind of in this short time changed my mind in that. And when I think about it, it's like when I think about my own clients, I've had a few say, oh, that's a lot of money. Because I'm going to be honest, I'm not cheap. I've got a lot of experience and I know what I'm doing. So, I mean, my files are anywhere from $2,000 to $20,000. So it can be a lot of money. And I've had a few clients who said, I really can't afford that. Can you go lower? And without fail, every single one of them has caused me double or triple the amount of work, not done what I require of them, ended up being extremely entitled acting. You know, why should I've got one guy where I need certain information just to get his basic security clearances and he's fighting me on. I'm going, we can't even submit anything until you give me this. I mean, I can't give them it. I can't even do the forms. It won't accept the forms. So meantime, you paid me $10,000 and that money's gone. Now you're going to owe me more money and nothing's done yet, you know? So I regret taking on those clients under those terms. So it's really kind of changing my mindset about the charging, which makes me happier because I'd rather work with fewer people and teach them really well what they need to do and still make a decent living. And I wouldn't mind having a few of those $1 million days either, because my dream house is $8 million.
You're my ideal client. I'm so glad you entered the program. You're my ideal client. Let me speak to a few things you said. You made some key points. If somebody says, oh, that's expensive, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
If you want to get a result, you're going to pay for it. The results just don't fall out of the sky. And you have years of experience. Mm-hmm. I have 40 years of experience. I've invested personally, forgetting college and my PhD and my master's and bachelor's. I've spent over $800,000 on mentors. So when you get me, you get all those mentors with me. Yeah, it's expensive. So, you know, I'd be proud to say, yes, it's expensive. You have a right to be paid well for your knowledge and what you're going to teach. And I always say this, we're the mirror for the kinds of clients we want, right? So you're very decisive. You're like, okay, here's Terry's program. It resonates. I'm in, right? That's decisive. You'll have decisive clients, people who are like, oh, I'm not sure. I'm thinking about it. Let me ask somebody. Let me consult the stars. They're going to have people who don't sign up with them because people behave the way we behave. And I agree with you. Like, yes, sister, yeah. Take fewer people that are the right people that understand making an investment because they really want a committed result, and work with those people and give them your all and make a real difference and transform them. And the other people, let them sit on the sidelines because they're just not willing to make a change. Yes, that's all I have to say.
And that's actually the funny thing, because a lot of my life, I'm a single mom. So, I mean, had zero support from anybody. So we lived in poverty for a really long time. So I actually almost was one of the people sitting on the sidelines. I'm not in that position now, but I still, because it's that ingrained mentality. And I'm sure that's where these clients and that are coming from too, where it's that ingrained mentality that you really got to watch the pennies and everything like that. And so I almost didn't do it. And then I sat there and I thought about it. And it's just because a lot of what you're saying really is resonating with me, like in a lot of ways that are practical ways that I can actually fit into my mind and say, well, this makes sense. This makes sense. And I'm sitting there going, well, if I'm putting all the work into this, why shouldn't I? And it's the whole thing too, is am I taking advantage of people? And I'm just like, no, you know what? I have experience that almost nobody in my field has. Almost none of them. There's a small handful that do. So if nobody is providing the kind of training that people need, if I'm the only one, why shouldn't I be paid for what I'm doing? Is it wrong? And it's somehow ingrained within me, and I'm fighting that it's wrong for me to do so. And I'm sitting there going, but everybody who is an expert, who is charging a reasonable amount. A doctor charges a lot of money. A lawyer charges a lot of money. I practice law. I'm not a lawyer, but I legally practice law. Why shouldn't I charge what I'm worth? And the same thing with this. So.
Exactly. I'm going to piggyback on that. My husband needed to have back surgery years ago, and he wanted to get the best surgeon, right? So we went and we found a surgeon on Park Avenue in New York. I mean, it was just ridiculous pricing, and insurance wasn't going to pay for this guy. And we're like, it's back surgery, whatever it takes. We have to come up with the money. And somebody else said, oh, I know this guy. He'll do it for real cheap. And I was like, run! Because if he's doing it for real cheap, he can't be a great expert. So experts deliver results.
Yeah, Yuki, hush. Yeah, exactly. I think about when I look for somebody. When I look for somebody, I'm not necessarily looking for cheap, especially if it's really important. And I think that it's just more of a I'm speaking to, or I'm thinking about my own importance or how I view my importance, and I think that really comes through. So when I cut my cost, it's sending the wrong message is what I'm thinking. So
awesome. Great to have you today, and I look forward to talking with you Monday.
Okay.
All right. Bye for now.
I think maybe David Yorka can join us today for the first time from the car. David, just unmute.
Unmute.
So there's a red microphone that you need to click on. Yay!
Hi, David.
I hit the jackpot.
Yeah, it's good to hear you. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How about you?
I'm doing awesome. How can I help you today?
Well, as if there's one thing that you have learned from working with professional theater company or performing arts business, what is one thing or one experience, one thing that you have learned?
I've learned in regards to what specifically, because I've learned all kinds of things. There's something
right. Well, starting back from the front, what is my question?
Let me tell you the biggest thing I've learned is I've learned how to fill.
Sure.
I don't know if that helps, but I can quickly and easily, I filled like regional theater seats and other theater seats very easily, and also up to the prices.
Okay. And you know what? I've been watching the replays and over and over and over and over.
Good.
Thank you so much. Will they be available for a little bit?
I don't know. We're going to talk about that. Yvette and I will talk about that a little. We're not sure. But stay with us the next couple of days, and I'm glad you're able to get on today.
Oh, it's a long overdue thrill, and this is what I really look like in front of the hair salon. this is me on Raw and Uncovered, and bless you both, and I'm having a ball. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for being on. I'm so glad to see you today.
You're welcome.
So right before we're finishing, it was so awesome that you finally made it, David. Hopefully you join us tomorrow and the next day. Glenn is asking, she's saying, I'm having a hard time finding the link on the payment page to use PayPal. I need to apply for the financing program. Can you help me? Or am I going blind in my young age? You're not going blind.
So there is no link on that page. If you need to use PayPal financing, you'll send an email to Terry, Terri, at Terry Levine, Levine. And in the subject, just put PayPal financing, and we'll get you a link. So again, it's Terry, Terri, at Terry Levine, Levine, and just put PayPal financing in the subject.
And there we go. So that concludes our day 8. How crazy is that? 8 days together. We have only 2 more days. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about something that Terry kind of mentioned today about why she's not following up with people. So that will really help you with the close and with the positioning and the mindset when you are on a call. So show up tomorrow. And we already have our top 5 winners, but we have 3 more days to go. So play the game, have fun. And Terry, anything else before we finish for today?
No, I just want to say, if I don't know kind of where people are at, but if anybody else is sitting on the fence, move forward, take action and step forward. If you want my help, I'm here. And you just can never get 12 weeks of me for this little investment. And you can do it on payment plans. You can do it on PayPal. Find a way, make a way. You got to step forward.
Yay. So thank you guys. We will see you tomorrow, same place, same time. Please continue to share. I see so many people getting so much value out of this. We'll discuss how long it's available, but as long as it's available, share with your friends, share the joy, because I see so many people have done so many awesome things already in the 8 days we were together. That's it. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, everybody. See you tomorrow.